Good morning, LinkedIn friends, Value First Nation. Welcome to a new series from Value First. It's Value First partner here with our favorite Value First partner, Crispy. How you doing, man?
I am good, especially now that I know I'm the favorite. Man, I am over the moon.
Yeah. Well, I can't think of a better dude to come in and kind of lay it down
Love it.
uh, in terms of partner. We talk a lot about revenue in
Mm,
this series. And this is always one that I feel like I have to justify in terms of how this came to be, at least in relationship to the value first framework. Because it counters the qualification trap,
mm,
right? And uh, and this was the last pairing that came together, and it was basically like I had this qualification trap left, I had this value first partner left. I was like, all right, I guess they go together, and felt like a reach. But then when you get into it, um, a lot of what we're going to talk about is everything that we do in business, these structures we put in place. A lot of them related to qualification and like you got to be in or out. We got to save time. We don't want to waste time with the wrong people. All of that gets in the way of like a ton of partnership opportunity. Yeah.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean it.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so we're gonna start these first 7 episodes going over in each commitment. There's 7 commitments in the value first partner. And then I'm just gonna like soak up all the knowledge from you as having, built a partner and exited, led revenue in a couple different places in the ecosystem. I know you've got a ton of gold to share, so we'll get into that in a minute. But here's commitment number one. Um, we're gonna seek mutual growth over one-sided value extraction. We
Mm,
believe business relationships should create more value for all participants rather than extracting value from one for another. We commit to building partnerships where success is shared, resources multiply, and growth compounds through collaboration rather than competition. This means we will evaluate opportunities based on mutual benefit potential rather than internal qualification criteria. We'll design relationships that create more value together than separately instead of optimizing individual metrics. We're going to share insights, knowledge, and resources that enable partner success rather than hoarding competitive advantages. We'll measure success through collective growth rather than individual conversion gains. And we're going to actively look for ways to help partners achieve their goals rather than focusing only on our objectives.
mm.
What comes to mind as you hear that list
Yeah,
of things?
man. Even just the first line, like the reason that most partnerships fail in our ecosystem, and I would argue beyond other ecosystems as well, is because it's a game of chicken, where it's a who's going to scratch your back first? Is it going to be me or is it going to be you? And both people on the side of the partnership are just waiting to see who's going to be the first to extend that, like, back scratch, if you will. So that's why they fail, because everyone ends up being like, I'll talk, no bite. And they don't take the partnership seriously. And the thing that I found, this is especially tied to my super days, is that partners will say, I want to be the best. It's like, great. I hear that 30 times a day. It's like, what are you going to do to be the best? I was like, well, I'm going to integrate your product into all my services. I'm going to build go to market around it, blah, blah, blah. And then nothing happens. So for anyone that's listening that really wants to take partnership seriously, the key to doing it is by doing stuff for free and treating it as if it was the same quality as a paid service. That's really what it is. That's how you become a good partner. It's because that is the olive branch, which is how can I add value to the partnership without money being involved? And it's kind of the big, I think, roadblock for most people, is that value to most partnerships is how much money can we drive together? And that's not always the case, especially when you're starting out. It's a matter of like, how can I be the best partner to you, and I may not have the deals to make that happen right now. So instead, I can service your customers or vice versa. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of mechanics to it, but ultimately, it's how can I add value beyond just monetary like numbers or quotas, if you will, and how can I actually go to market with a partner and not feel like that I'm bringing on another cost to my business in the form of time.
Right. Yeah. It's we're seeing this breakdown like everywhere right now. Like it's if you're with the amount of uncertainty, and just the immeasurable opportunity related to just being ready, right? For the next thing. Like everybody's talking about how like traditional modes are going away, speed, agility, be nimble, because you don't know what's coming next.
Mhm.
If you show up expecting everybody to be crisp and crystal clear on what's in it for you, like just nobody's got time for that like anymore. And we
Mhm.
don't know. Like we might tell you something and then next month it's like, all right, that's not real. But I'm in this contract now that says that's the only way we get to interact.
Mhm.
Right. And so when you've been like experiencing that disconnect, like I wonder if any like specific revenue stories come to mind in terms of like this revenue example or opportunity was just like staring people in the face and they could just not like open up to it.
Yeah, my story is my departure from Supered, actually. So my role at Supered was very much how do we get partners to become our biggest source of revenue? That was like my job, is figure out that exact answer. And the intent initially when I arrived was, well, it's hard to get people to sell net new things. And so for agencies, service providers, consulting firms, stuff like that, the easiest way to integrate this in their business is to kind of force them to accidentally sell it, in the sense of, let's use Super to deliver all of your services. Therefore, all of your customers will experience it and you'll accidentally upsell. And that will be the first mechanism into going and driving revenue. The problem is that like it's not like it's not a one size fits all model, which we kind of knew, which why we kept it flexible. But more importantly, it's a I very quickly noticed that partners want quickest time to value with the least amount of effort, and integrating a
Mhm.
product into the service line is very very tough and like cumbersome. Um, the revenue impact that I saw, or like the opportunity, that's what led me to leave, was there were not any partners that were taking partner programs seriously nowadays. Like we were working with like Ask Elephant and Clay and these other big partner programs where there were a couple of big hitters that were really taking it seriously, and then there were thousands or hundreds of partners that were just signed up via the link and didn't do a lot with it. And so I found the opportunity as like, we need more flagship partner use cases, and that will be the opportunity to drive revenue. And that's why I landed here at Zipsio. And part of the sense of why we're going to grow so fast this year is because we take 4 partnerships very seriously and fuck the rest. We're not doing anything else because every other partner program's garbage. And so we've had this stuff heavily because we know it works in the use cases where the other partner takes it seriously. Hence why the mutual growth. Um, yeah. So it
Yeah.
was, I saw a multi-million-dollar opportunity in the sense of how can I partner with these other companies that don't have a flagship use case? I could be the flagship, was my thought.
Yeah. That resonates a lot. And like I can share my go-to experience here is, and it's just like continuing to repeat itself in terms of like what's not working like in the market, even with Profoundly, like um being able to build relationship, like a part of what the goal is Profoundly is helping, HubSpot customers overall, even with the apps. Like there was no place for app partners to better support. Like they had to rely on HubSpot directly. It's very hard to get in touch. But as we built relationships over here, it's like the whole playbook, right? That's why that's clearly relates to this qualification trap idea
Yes.
where like I've got to prove to you that I've got access to these customers, and the exchange is supposed to be like 20%, right? Meanwhile, your app is like at like this much revenue compared to like everything else that I do. So that 20% is supposed to do what? Like, how is that incentive? And not to mention, that's not how I sell and like build relationships and add value. Like, I have an idea and a concept that I want to deliver. And if I want to recommend apps that like fit into that, but it's going to be like automatic during delivery, right? Not during a sales process. And like the whole concept of lead sharing and all this stuff. Like, so I would show up and say, hey, but we can like create some content like together because I know you suck at marketing. I didn't say that out loud, but like this should be a valuable thing.
Yeah.
And I don't need 20%. I would rather do some content, right? Like, and then we both win. And it was just like people that are like in charge of building a part. It's like not allowed. Like it's not even on the radar. And that's where it's like the whole point of this series and all of the value first content is like they just stare common sense like right in the face and they can't math it out. They can't work it into their funnel. So they're like, okay, no, what's the playbook? Where are the leads numbers goals for this month? You know? So I'm excited, you know, to see what you're gonna do over there. So how are you like, I guess in terms of like picking the four, like what did it have to do with like obviously like trying to find a fit and a partner who agrees like let's grow together, like and let's go hard on that part and kind of like, you know, fuck the rest. But what kind of like growth I guess opportunities or however you want to, you know, talk about like which four you pick.
Yeah. I very much like Wayne Gretzky'd it, where it's like I'm thinking about skating where the puck is going, not where the puck is right now. And the thing that I realize with most partner programs is that partners will become a partner because they have a use case to sell, and they'll sell one instance of it and then never touch the partnership ever again. I don't want to do that. That's just not an interest to me. So I have a prediction about the future of services, and I feel like it's going to be led with AI. It's going to be AI as a service first. So my other prediction around this is that since people are going to have an abundance of data around their AI, processes will become more important than ever. And there is not a focus or a service currently for customers that is full enablement of their sales team with the newfound data that they have. And so that led me to pick a couple of partners as like my go-to. So one is HubSpot. Obviously, I think best CRM on the earth. So no brainer. Clay was a big one as well, where I want to figure out how we can build a GTM engineering piece and convert those leads top of funnel as a service. Ask Elephant is another one where that is like the largest platform that we're investing our time and energy and resources into right now to build out AI as a service. And it's working. Like I don't want to say surprisingly, but surprisingly, it's working very, very well. It's amazing actually. So I'll be there on site next week to help with their customers, which is super cool. And then last one, Supered. I don't think people take Supered serious enough in the sense of what it does for CRM users. So it's more about, again, millions of data points in the future. Like that's on the horizon. Millions of data points per CRM. Like I think that's inevitable. Yeah. And Supered will be the platform that will stabilize the CRM and the operational flow of the sales team.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's a fair assessment of where the puck is going to be for sure. A story about Ask Elephant from a couple days ago, and that's where like I'm not like Ryan Ginsberg and I working together on a client, and he's doing the technical work, right? And so he's having the tool conversations, and I'm just coming in to, coach on, like, in this case, content and um, how to add value and track data and all this stuff. And the concept of call transcripts and call recordings. They're using Otter right now. Um, and had the call with Fathom, like they're looking at alternatives. And it's cool. There's an integration. And then he said something to the effect of, yeah, then I, filled out the form, ask Elephant, and like met inside of 30 minutes. And he said, like, Fathom is like X dollars, and Ask Elephant was this much. And I was expecting him to go like with the cheaper option, the way that he was setting it up. Um, and then he started talking about the experience with Ask Elephant
Mm.
and how it's not just a plug and play integration. It's like configuring and customizing for your setup. And even though it was 10x the cost that he was describing, it was a no-brainer.
Mhm.
Like, and it was so refreshing to start to work with teams like that. But it's like free 30 days and set, like, Ask Elephant is coming with value to like prove the relationship. And like, I've started taking a stance like, if we do that and it's not a fit, like there's so much learning that happens, there's so much other opportunity that shows up, that all of this like just goes away when you start measuring like every step, right? So yeah, I just wanted to share that since you brought up Ask Elephant. It's like when you show up that way, just like the usual things of like cost and like it just goes away, right? And I think that's where, in this world of AI, like the usual constraints that all these qualification structures and measurement structures, um, it's just not, it's not, they're not built for the age of AI, like at the
I
end of
agree.
the day, right?
Yeah, I
Um,
agree. I mean, I think the big thing is like with Ask Elephant, it's a good example of you get what you pay for. Like it's a great example of that, and I believe in you get what you pay for in the sense of time spent. Your time spent is a payment, right? And then dollars spent as well. It is incredible how much time I've spent directly with the Ask Elephant team in the last 2 weeks talking about use cases, building out agents, and like go to market strategy together. And that is the real difference between a really good partner and a really mediocre run of the mill partner is if I invest more time or money into the relationship, does that have equal output on the other side? And for most other partner programs, it's no.
how did, man, how did we get here?
It's a good
Like,
question. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a I think there's two things. One, it's a service provider mentality issue, and then two, big tech has enabled it. So I think what ends up happening is, especially in the world of HubSpot, I imagine PDMs deal with this constantly, is someone joins the partner program and they ask, when can I expect to receive leads? That is a common thing that I would hear at Super common. And it's not really how partner programs work, where it's not, you sign up to become a partner, buy a pro license, and then from there you're just getting in part of the lead rotation. Like when I was at the height of workflow, I had never received an inbound lead from HubSpot from their fucking deal rotator thing. I don't think that thing exists, straight up. I think they fucking lie to people about it just to make them shut up. And it's like, yeah, it'll happen eventually. I straight up don't think it exists. But I would receive leads from like I had a great PDM, and he shout out Justin Kahlberg. He would build relationships, and then we would source leads from true partnership channels. But I think what ends up happening is there's this awful mentality of we're gonna become a partner and we get leads, and then they take that mentality everywhere else that they possibly go, and that's just not how it works at all. And so on top of that, I think big tech has responded with, well, if people are going to like think that's going to be the case, we're going to build a mediocre partner program, which is going to be You get someone from sales that works with you as a partner manager. You get a Slack channel where like that's your benefit, your resource to us. Then we're gonna add you to Partner Stack, which is a bullshit platform. So those three things together, it's like not really a partner program. It's a glorified deal registration tool that you submit your leads into, and you're never going to receive a lead from the other company. And it's this vicious cycle of, again, the game of chicken, where it's like, who's going to submit first? Who's going to send something to the other partner first? And it just never happens, and things go dry.
Yeah. And that, like, that scarcity mindset about things going dry, right? Like, I think is at the heart of all of this. Because I've done a lot of research as I'm like trying to make sense of this flow of like all business leaders not being able to make common sense decisions like about how like they've been successful in lots of domains, but then when it comes to like marketing tech and just SaaS, like everybody's just been like SaaS is like one big workaround. Like, man. And like when you look back, and why I go so hard on the word lead, is Salesforce created that object in 2000, like baked it right into the CRM. And all of a sudden you could create like you could separate contacts like in leads, right? So then we got to get a lot of leads. To get a lot of leads, we need to send a lot of ads. Well, ads to people you don't know create a bunch of bad leads. Well, we don't want to give all our bad leads to the sales team and waste their time. So now we got to create this whole qualification infrastructure, team of SDRs, all of that stuff to wade through bad leads. And that's hard and complex. So now we need systems that help us do that. And like you mentioned, like the stack that gets created. Oh, now we need managed services to support all that, and everybody's trying to and almost none of it is in the best interest of the customer at the end of the day, because it creates this whole elaborate complexity. And as soon as I started digging into this with AI, and just like the whole point of value first is don't get in the way of value. Like, why are we putting things in the way of value? And you start talking to teams on the front lines, and almost always it's like, oh, I got to hit this metric. I got to make this many calls. I got to hit this KPI. Like almost none of it is that actual value creation. And when you ask them, they know, right? They don't even enjoy it. But then when you ask them like what the alternative is, we can't get to a simple place of, can we just have a policy? Like, ask yourself if the next thing you're about to do, is it going to build trust or add value? Like, and the answer is no. Like, don't do it. Like, AI is helping us get there because that's how AI works, right? And so it's kind of forcing the issue, right? So there is like, obviously there's a big vibe that you can feel right now with this happening, but if you track it back like that, it's been 25 years of like building into that. And the crazy thing is like some of the people that like help build that, like some guys that work Winning by Design right now, like they call it like people from Oracle and like all the ones who just built that motion, and they've been calling it out for a couple of years now. It's just like terrible practices, not helping anyone. So did you like when you were at Super, like access to so many partners, like living in this, like were there any moments and did you find any like words of wisdom that like if somebody was even open to thinking about things differently, that it would start to help them like move in that direction?
Yes. So an example of this is like we were part of HubSpot's PGA experience, and it's a lot of work to get a PGA event because like now like we have certain stipulations around it. And one of the things that I believe in the sense of if you want to drive revenue around a product is a digital webinar is very, very difficult to get actual people to buy a software within 30 days of the like webinar. It's fucking hard to do that. And most other partners that I saw on PGA were doing digital events. I was insistent upon going to an industry event that already existed versus creating something net new. Like we're not creating a Southbound level event just because that's an insane amount of work and they do an amazing job over at RP. And like, I am so jealous of the fact that they do that because it's fantastic. I don't want to do that. I want to go to the place where I can like go and meet people that are there for an industry and then show them a solution. And so, one of the like best experiences we had was working with Elefante. Elefante was a like flagship partner, as I would say, with Supered. They take the relationship very seriously, and they were all in on the experience and the go-to-market strategy, stuff like that. I'll give you one small example of this. The thing that's difficult about creating PGA events is it's 3 partners together putting on one single event. So there's technically 3 different value propositions for the leads and the people that are there where they get sold to in 3 different ways. But when you go to a trade show as a team together, it's really hard to tell some single lead that you're 2 different people where it's we're selling Super, they're selling services on top of it. And so it's, hey, how do you guys feel about like we say, you know, we're here as a solution together. You guys wear a Super shirt. We all look the same, stuff like that. And it was a no-brainer. It was like, yes, we'll wear Super stuff. Like we'll wear the whole pink jumpsuit and all that shit, stuff like that. It sounds really small, but that stuff is really big. You're choosing to not wear your own logo and brand at a major trade show where it's a great marketing and content opportunity to wear the shirt and the logo of the partner that you're going with to ensure mutual value. Yeah. That's like a really small and I'd say rudimentary example, but that action and that mentality is what makes a really good partnership. Is I don't care what the front of my shirt says. Like I'm here for value in the partnership because I know that we'll both mutually benefit.
Yeah. I love that example because that's when I would get into some of these content collaboration conversations, like how are you not valuing access to this audience where you're nowhere to be found right now? You're not a part of the conversation, especially in terms of Super. Like everybody knows where Super is at the event at all times, right? And if you think you're going to come in with no following and no audience and somehow like that's where like the only reason you do that is because you're not in this partner mode. Like I got to get the lead. Like it's me. I have the numbers. Whereas no, like all the flow is over there. Like let's go like partner up and see how we can, you know, all benefit. I love that example. Definitely some cool dudes over at Elefante. Reminds me I need to get back doing value first revenue architecture with Pedro. But so is that what are some other plays like? Is it like outside of events that you've seen work in terms of, or maybe that you're thinking about in terms of like partnering, especially in this new AI situation? Because I think, having said that, like it's yet to be cracked. I think this collaborative like AI platform space where we can effectively share context across organizations and teams. So I'm very interested to see, you know, where that's going. I'm sure people like Ask Elephant are thinking about stuff like that all the time. But what else are you, you know, thinking about?
Yeah. I've got, so it's really a matter of, I think you're right in the sense of it has not been cracked yet. And so I've been talking to lots of different people about this, and I think I've fully mapped out what AI as a service looks like into 4 kind of sub-services in totality for the business. And My play that I'm testing, and like I don't mind sharing this kind of stuff, is I'm doing the following. I am working with our existing customer base. I'm going to our existing partners and I'm saying, hey, I want to try this out. I need 10 companies that are interested in being like guinea pig customers for us, where we will deliver this for free. Like you'll get white glove experience, and like we're not going to charge you because I need to get reps under my belt to ensure that I can deliver this and charge money for it. I think that's like going back to mentality and mindset. That's one of the big differences in that makes me unique as a partner. Like within our business is most partners will say, and I fucking hate this so much, where it's like, I don't walk in the door for less than $5,000. And I'm like, cool,
What
fuck
what
you.
the
Like,
fuck?
don't come back.
Yeah.
Like the door is closed. I fucking hate that. So I'm like, it's so asinine to say that when you've never delivered the service at all. Like you're already
Right.
thinking about how you can cover your own ass before we even build a
Yeah.
relationship. Like, fuck you. That's my mindset. I have very spicy opinions on this, as you can
Yeah.
see. So
Well, the entitlement is
Oh.
unreal.
I hate it.
Like, just because I have this thing on my
Yeah.
line card and I'm in this industry, like, no, you don't get to, like,
Yeah.
you're not entitled to anything. And that's where, like, and similarly, the concept of like, if it doesn't cost, if it's $0, then people like won't appreciate the value, or they can't appreciate the value. And
Yeah.
like, it's like, there's so many things, and that's where people have to get good at. There's so many other forms of value
Mhm.
right now that are showing up. And that's like value first works in all of these ways, because
Yeah.
it's AI first, human first, whatever, sales led, whatever. Everybody's trying to create like value.
Mhm.
Right. So yeah, no, like there's so much value to be had to figure out, like with anything new. And that's where if you can open up, you start innovating to making sure it doesn't cost a shit ton of money, like to do that. And guess what? AI helps with that a lot. And when you can
Yeah.
embrace that and you don't have to set up all this bullshit administrative infrastructure, like, wow, it starts to get, cost friendly to be
Exactly.
like this, right?
Yeah. I mean, I tell everyone that I ever talk to or mentor, or anyone that asks me questions was like, hey, how did you do what you did? How did you get where you are? Stuff like that. I'm like, here's the framework. And it's like, it's really easy. Do work for free and then get better at it and then start charging money. Like literally it's as easy as that. I'm like, oh, well, I don't want to do that. It's like, cool. Like, this is why I win. Like, period. Like, it's not a hard concept. You know what I mean? Like when you walk in the door and say, oh, well, I'm going to charge like $100 an hour. It's like, okay, cool. Like you have no experience, no customers, no framework, and no like processes. It's like, what is someone spending $100 on you for? And I've had a lot of unfortunate conversations with partners around that, where it's like, why? And again, that goes back into this like vicious mentality of why should we give you leads for this kind of stuff? But this is one where I think it's semi-warranted from the tech partner is, oh, well, we're going to charge $200 an hour for implementation. It's like, our customers pay us $13 a month for our platform, and your service is $200 an hour, and you've never done it before. Like, you have to be more realistic in the sense of what your value point is in the relationship, and not walk in with that awful mentality of 10 grand or I'm not like the partner for you. It's
Yeah.
a horrible mentality. It's making the ecosystem toxic.
Yeah. And it's going to be a nice culling, in my opinion, because when you have that, and generally those people are terrible at
Yes.
like explaining the value and quantifying the value. But it's like the people who get good at unpacking that, which if you're delivering for free, you have to get good at making sure like there's an understanding of value, or understanding what value wasn't given, so that then you can, provide it next time. I was on a discovery call in sales process earlier this week with an AI native company that like trains other people on how to do AI native. And I'm like, all right, this is the fit. Like we want to do AI native transformation and help people with that. And they're coming in with all these HubSpot, like, this checklist of things, right? Everybody has their quick wins that they want to get. And I think like, okay, vision wise, we're aligned on what the future is. And I start out like, hey, these are the services. This is my services page. It sounds like you want a partnership. These are just like, I have these dollars amount just to kind of match what people are used to, but let's work together on the budget you have and the value you want at whatever number, because there's lots of ways that we can add value. And it's like, yeah, and they agree, like hourly doesn't make sense anymore in a world of AI. And then we get to the end of the conversation. He's like, but do you have any hourly rates though? I'm like, it's just so ingrained into the system that you're trying to use that kind of math, which makes zero sense, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, this isn't even a pro tip, but for anyone that is a solutions partner listening and thinking about, hey, I want to become a partner with Ask Elephant or Supered or whatever it is. Number one, tell them I sent you if that happens. And number two is your current structure of I only do retainers and I only do projects will break with new partnerships. You will have to be more flexible if you want to succeed, because it's not like every single software platform has this guarantee of managed services beyond it, or even paid implementation. Like that's not a thing for like some SaaS companies. And so you have to come in with the expectation of a partnership is flexible, and you as a service provider are going to flex the most. And you will see value if you're able to show how much you can flex in the partnership to drive that mutual growth.
Yeah. And a great example of that been experiencing more, but then this week, we can't be ascribing to, like, if we're doing services or consulting or coaching or even providing the software with the understanding that we want people to be AI first, AI native, nimble, like the moat's gone, got to go fast, and then expect people to sign 6 to 12-month contracts like that, lock them in. Like if you're a leader, like leaders cannot be doing that stuff right now. Like,
I agree.
And again, the situation I'm in is like, there's a very traditional contract that the client is forcing us to go little by little, right? And now that we've built the value, it's coming contract time. And guess what we got to wait for? Legal to review the contract, right? And imagine the world. And I first experienced this through George B. Thomas, where when I started working with him in 2022, his terms and conditions was 2 sentences. It was like, be a good human and 30 days out whenever, like no like long-term lock-in. And if we're confident that we're going to deliver value and we've already built trust, why do we need the long-term like contract? And if we didn't have it, if you were able to take it out of the agreement, could we already have the signature right now? Like, because legal wouldn't have to review it. Like there would just be way less risk, right? We take the risk, obviously. But again, like AI is making it easier to, how much risk is there?
Yeah.
Right? If we do the build and then guess what? Like the world is changing. It happens. Like even if they lock into a contract, like most of these sizes that we're doing, like he's gonna go to court. Like good luck. Right. So
yeah.
Man, just all this gets easier, right? When you can just say like, okay, do we want to grow together? Like, or are we here to get ours? Right?
Yeah. And it's really interesting, especially with the idea of locking someone into a contract for recurring hours and recurring time and ongoing service. I would always tell smaller partners this that were up and coming is all a retainer is the renewal of your time on a month-to-month basis. It's like that's pretty much it. Like them signing a 1-year agreement is just saying, hey, I'll do this for 1 year. It's more likely that someone will convert quicker and in a much easier way. You tell them, hey, no commitment, just month to month. Like that's basically just exactly what a retainer is. Like, well, and I always tell partners, like, it's your responsibility to show value within that time and prove value for the next block of time, month to month. And retainers lose sight of that because it's like, oh, I have a year. I'll kick back and relax. You know what I mean? This is my runway money. It's like bad mentality. You know what I mean? Fucking hate that stuff.
Agreed. And we'll probably be getting into much more of that throughout the series. I'm going to hit on I'm going to list the rest of the commitments that we're going to be going through throughout the series. And the thing that I've loved is that all of these are going to sound very similar, but like when you dig into the why behind the reason we need to focus on and like all the little things that cause the problems that we're trying to solve, like it starts to get fun. So second commitment, align on purpose over transaction criteria. Third commitment, enabling natural flow over artificial barriers. Number 4 is building ecosystem thinking over isolated transactions. Number 5 is advanced transparency over information asymmetry. Number 6 is develop complementary strengths over commoditized offerings. Like, oh, you're good at doing the audits? Okay, yeah, you keep doing the audits. We won't need to add that over here. Number 7, establish shared success over competitive positioning. And with that one specifically, I want to note, this is a prioritization thing. It's not like replacing all these other things, but so many moments can come down to like just showing you care about the one thing more than the other thing. Like obviously positioning is important, but when you put that like competition at all costs, like it gets in the way of partnerships and growth all the time. So I'm excited, man. I appreciate you, stepping up to do this series and hopefully, helping other people out there make some better, partner focused decisions.
I hope so. I'm excited. I mean, it's going to be interesting, especially as new platforms come into play and partners need direction on that stuff. So they'll see value from the series.
Indeed. All right, man. Well, until next time, we'll see everybody next Friday. Thanks so much, Crispy.
See ya.